Welcome back to the Marcus Allgood Show. I appreciate everybody listening. Today we're going to talk about why I quit smoking and changing habits that will change your life forever. First, we're going to start off with a quote by James Clear. And I read Atomic Habits. If you haven't read that book, it's an amazing book. And I actually quit smoking back in 2010. It was before Atomic Habits even came out. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it's like to quit smoking and what one of the best ways is to do it. But first, let's go over the quote by James Clear. Whenever you want to change your behavior, you can simply ask yourself, how can I make it obvious? How can I make it attractive? How can I make it easy? How can I make it satisfying? And I was driving back from Houston, my wife and myself driving back from Houston to Lafayette, Louisiana back in 2010. And I'd started working out, doing a boot camp for 30 days, and still was smoking, still was drinking. And that first time in boot camp, maybe the first or second workout, I ended up throwing up. It's 5 in the morning, and we didn't change any of our habits. We were still drinking lots of wine at night, going to bed at like midnight, trying to wake up at 4:30. So obviously, we were still probably still kind of drunk from the night before, trying to work out, and it just was one of those. I was just like, I can't handle, can't hang. Threw up, went back to working out, and it was in the middle of the parking lot. Or actually ran out to the side, but we were lunging in the parking lot. I still remember that. But then I started CrossFit, and 2 weeks into CrossFit has a lot more running than boot camps do. We didn't do any running in the boot camp, and so in CrossFit, people were crushing me on the workouts, and I wasn't in good shape anyways. I was overweight, and drinking, like I said, drinking all the time, smoking cigarettes like a pack a day, and I'd already had people tell me that I was working at the bank at the time, and had people tell me I needed to quit. And you always hear that person like, "Oh man, you need to quit smoking," but you think to yourself like, does that person really care about me? Or if I'm smoking, do they care about my health? I don't care. You're so self-absorbed with yourself that you don't care about what other people think around you, especially with smoking. Like, you will smoke in front of anybody, you will blow smoke in their face, you'll throw the ash or the butts outside, you'll drop the ashes outside. Like, you just don't care. Like, you just think the world is there for you to smoke, which is completely wrong. It's really rude. Most smokers are really rude in the fact that how they're smoking, and some will go to different areas, things like that. But for the most part, it's a pretty rude thing to do is smoke around people, especially with the ones that don't smoke at all. But anyways, after CrossFit, about 2 weeks into it, I was just like, I can't handle this anymore. My running's terrible. I'm like like dying when I'm running. People are beating me all the time. And we were driving back from Houston, and it was a 4 hour trip. And I was told myself, I was like, I'm tired of the smell. I'm tired of smoking. I'm tired of it all. Like, I just finally hit the point to where it was the bottom for me. That was my bottom for smoking. I was done with it. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm over it. What am I going to do? How am I going to change my life? How can I make it more attractive? How can I make it easy? And how can I make it satisfying? And the one thing that I realized when I was smoking this, I smoked a pack of cigarettes from Lafayette to Houston. And I realized like I could smell it, and it started getting really disgusting to me. And it never really happened to me before about smoking. Like, I didn't care. I didn't really smell it. It wasn't disgusting to me at that point. And the more I was driving and the more I was smoking, and just one cigarette after another, one cigarette after another, kept going, kept going. And finally, I was just like, I'm done. Like, this is it. Like, this is all I'm going to do. Like, I'm not going to smoke anymore. And I told myself, like, I'm just not going to do it. And so we woke up the next morning, and Kelly's like, hey, you want to go smoke? And I was like, no. She's like, why not? I was like, because I quit. She goes, when did you quit? I said, last night. And she goes, well, you're not going to tell me? I go, I just did. And from that day on, or that night on, I've never had another cigarette. And it was one of those that you finally get to hit rock bottom for that thing that you're trying to get rid of. Like, if you think that you're a smoker, you're always going to be a smoker, and it's part of your identity. If you don't get rid of being a smoker, like, I do not consider myself an ex-smoker because I don't consider smoking as my identity. And being an ex-smoker is definitely not my identity. Yes, I used to smoke. Who cares? It's long time in the past. I just drop it. Like, I try not to tell people. I didn't even know if I wanted to tell people on this podcast, but it goes into breaking habits. And let me tell you about, if we have any smokers on this podcast listening, like, smoking definitely kills your lungs because of the fact that what they put in there. Same with vaping, like all this stuff, like just get rid of it. And one way to do it, I did it cold turkey. I went to a website, and I don't even know what the website is. I don't even know if it's around anymore. And I was doing some research while sitting at the bank working. And to get rid of one habit, you have to replace it with another. So the easy thing, like how can I make it satisfying? Me was to be able to run better and be able to do CrossFit better. So that was more satisfying for me than it was for smoking. So you have to find something that you can switch it out for that's going to be satisfying, attractive, and obviously, just better overall for your health. And so what I did is I picked CrossFit, I picked running, and so going through this website, it tells you about when you quit smoking. Back in the day, back in the day, like my mom used to smoke, and she'd always gain weight when she tried quit smoking. Multiple people when they get off of drugs, when they get off of cigarettes, like anything that's create or decreasing your appetite, when people get off of those, they start to eat more and they start to gain weight because those used to, same with cigarettes, they used to curb your appetite and curb your hunger every time you lit a cigarette. So therefore, when that hunger trigger comes up, you're like, oh man, I need to go eat something because I can't smoke, so I'm going to go eat something. Most people eat junk food, things like that. But on this website, it told me to, eat blueberries or eat strawberries, something small, something with some like natural sugar. Don't go grab the gummies, gummy bears and things like that. Don't go grab peanut butter, anything crazy like that. So you grab like a handful of blueberries, super low calorie, and that will actually trigger the brain to release the, I don't know, not the endorphins, but to release the chemical that's going to tell you that you're not hungry anymore. And so therefore, it's the same thing as lighting up a cigarette. So if you keep a pack of strawberries around and just eat like one or two, so every time you go to want a cigarette, you're going to pick up a couple strawberries and eat them, set them down, and that's like your fixation for your fingers and your hand to do something. And it's also going to be the fixation to curb your appetite and to curb the hunger pains that you would normally get, and also normally clear out once you lit a cigarette. So therefore, your brain is now not trying to want that cigarette anymore. It's not trying to want that action that you were doing, or it doesn't need the nicotine. And another thing I learned on there is nicotine is only in your body for 2 days. So you're only addicted to nicotine for 2 days. You're going to be irritable for a good week. Don't get me wrong. But every time you go to try and quit smoking and you take a hit of your cigarette, or you use a nicotine patch, or you eat a piece of nicotine gum or something like that, if you're trying to like reduce the amount that you're doing, all you're doing is restarting your addiction every time you hit that. It'd be like trying to an alcoholic trying to take one drink. I'm only gonna have one drink tonight. That doesn't work for them because they're gonna restart the cycle every time. So therefore, I take a drink tonight. Now I gotta wait 2 more days to get it. If I take smoke a cigarette today, I gotta wait 2 more days for that nicotine to get out of me. Therefore, I'm just prolonging it every time. Just because you reduce the amount of nicotine doesn't mean it's actually helping you. The best, probably the hardest, easiest way is just go cold turkey, take the headaches, take the hunger, take the pain, and just quit. Set it, like throw everything away. Throw your ashtrays away, it said. Throw your lighters away. Throw your cigarettes away. Anything that you could think about that will trigger you to smoke, you throw it all away. And then clean out your car and clean out your house. Like all that will help you out. And then go out and buy some strawberries or some blueberries, whatever kind of like small, low calorie fruit that you like, that you'll be able to eat. And then once you start doing that, like you're gonna go through some withdrawals. It's pretty hard. You definitely got to, if you're married or if you have a spouse or anything like that, girlfriend, boyfriend, anything, you really need to tell them, hey, I'm gonna quit smoking. I'm gonna be irritable for a couple days, probably 3 to 4 days, but the first 2 days are gonna be the hardest part. Please don't ask me to smoke. Don't ask me to go drinking. Don't do anything that's trying to trigger you into going to get back into smoking. Now, the other part of it is find what you're going to replace the smoking with. Like, are you going to go work out? Are you gonna like what's the satisfaction that you're gonna get if you quit smoking? You're gonna save money. Obviously, you're gonna save money. Most of the time, you're gonna save money, but you're gonna spend it somewhere else, unfortunately. But that's just how our brains work. How can you make this satisfying? By thinking about what the future you is gonna feel like, what the future you is gonna be like, what's it gonna smell like. You're gonna smell so much better. Your breath is gonna be better. You don't have to hide it from your kids. You won't have to hide it from anybody. So you're gonna be more honest with yourself is another big thing that you get to do. Because you're not just telling yourself, I'm going to quit tomorrow, I'm going to quit tomorrow, I'm going to quit tomorrow, and then never quit. Or you're hiding it from other people. You're running outside, sneaking out back, hiding it behind your back. We all know you're still smoking. It's okay. It's going to be fine. But if you need help, reach out to, somebody to help you be your accountability partner to get that done. So another thing is what else I did. The other things that I've done is I quit first, and then Kelly quit second. Kelly quit a week later, and that first week I was pretty irritable, and you really gotta be conscious of what you're saying and how your tone is, and like the snaps that you will do. Somebody's gonna ask you a question, and you'll be like, "What?" And you're not even gonna mean to say that. So you really gotta think about it. And you gotta let the people know, like, "Hey, I just quit smoking. I didn't mean to snap at you like that. That's just part of the side effects," and go on with it. But I would definitely tell people, that you're going to quit smoking or you're going to quit vaping, and you're probably going to be irritable for the next week. But the good thing is once that nicotine's out of the body, you're not addicted to the nicotine anymore. You're addicted to this action of your hand of doing the actual smoking or the vaping, not the actual chemical part. It's almost like a baby sucking their thumb. Like they just don't realize that they're sucking their thumb anymore, and it's just a natural reaction. So doing something with your hands, if you want to take up some like writing, journaling, basket weaving, I don't know, take up something that you can do with your hands to keep your hands moving, or think about working out. Like, what's your next workout gonna be? You have to replace it with something. So every time you go that you feel like you want to go have a cigarette because you need to do something with your hands, do like 10 push-ups. Trust me. You do 10 push-ups, you're going to forget all about wanting that cigarette, and you're going to forget all about like what you need to do with your hands. Or do 10 squats. Like anything you need to do just to get rid of that habit that you have. Another thing that helped me a lot is just, having the other person there for me. Knowing the fact that they liked the fact that I was quitting smoking, and then they were there, and I knew like Kelly was gonna quit after I did, which was really cool. But Kelly actually picked up a cigarette like a week later and started the whole process over again because she got stressed out at a concert that we were at. And I mean, I still went to bars, I still went to different things, I was still drinking at the time, and so you really have to think about that you have to tell your mind that you don't want this anymore. You don't want it. You don't want to smell like that. The bars were smoke free, so everybody else went outside smoking, and you just stood there. It's just a better quality of life when you finally get to quit smoking. And I might talk about quit drinking one day, but today we're not going to go there. So the main thing is, those are the main points that I got for how to quit smoking. Number one, you got to hit rock bottom, and you got to think in your head, I don't want to do this anymore. And you got to be there and saying, I'm over it. It's done. It's disgusting. It's repulsive. I don't want to do it anymore. And then you're going to say, I quit. And then you're going to throw all the stuff away. And then you're going to go get some strawberries or some blueberries, whatever one, or some raspberries, whatever one's like low calorie that you like. And every time you think you want a cigarette, or every time you think you're getting hungry, go ahead and take a couple bites of those, and then move on with your day, so that way you don't gain a bunch of weight. And then you're going to go through the withdrawals for the first couple days. Remember, nicotine's only in your body for 2 days. And after that, you're not addicted to nicotine anymore. You're just addicted to the motion or the act of going outside to go have a cigarette. And then after the week, you should be in the clear. The only time you're actually going to relapse is if you decide that you're like, I think this cigarette has a better satisfaction of smoking it than what you were doing to replace it. I know mine is CrossFit, working out. Like, I know if I start smoking again, my workouts are gonna diminish, and I'm not gonna like myself, and I'm not gonna like my workouts at all. So therefore, think about something that you can do, a new habit, better, healthier habit that you can do that is going to replace smoking for you. So that way you know you will not go back to smoking after you're done. So I appreciate everybody listening. I really hope you got a little bit of satisfaction out of this and got some knowledge. And you can use this for any kind of habit that you want to change, like drinking, smoking. I don't know what else is out there. I don't know. Probably getting off of cocaine, like all sorts of different things. Let me know what you think. Ask me any questions. Feel free to email me. Feel free to find me on Facebook and message me. And other than that, I appreciate all your time. And if you found some good knowledge out of this, go ahead and send it to a friend. If you have a friend that's smoking, send it to them. And maybe we can get through to them and help them out and get them on the way, get them to saving some money. And then, spending it somewhere else, wherever they got to do. But it's better something healthier and more exciting than smoking cigarettes. Those things are up to like $8 a pack now. All right. Have a great day. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.